a great episode coming up. I am talking with Lady Wisdom. Yes, it's Pastor Natalia Fisher Jackson. I wanted to give you the legal name because what I want you to know is that might have been the legal name she came in this world with, but God anointed her and endowed on her a lady persona. Wisdom in abundance. And she is not afraid to teach. She is not afraid to share. She's not afraid to give, but she's with DeeMcNair on the air. So you make sure you tune in, you stick in there with me, because it is coming, guys. DeeMcNair, I am a lady, but I've got Lady Wisdom coming on the air with me. Hi everybody, it's DeeMcNair and I am live on the air. I'm actually live on the air on location. I'm sitting here with Lady Wisdom. Yes, and men, back it up, back it up. Your wife is looking. Get back from the television set. She is a lady. She is endowed with wisdom, but she knows where her wisdom comes from. And today we're going to be talking about something that's going to add wisdom to your life. Now let me say it again. Lady Wisdom, girl, you better introduce yourself.
All right now, all right. Thank you so much, Dee. I'm really excited to be here with you today.
Yes.
This is a prayer answer.
Prayer. The prayers of the righteous availeth much.
This is a prayer answer.
For you and I both.
Yes.
You and I both.
It's amazing how God understands the desires of our heart. Mm-hmm. And even we may not bring it to him in a platter and say, this is what I want. But he's always looking out for us. And
he works all things together for our good.
Yes.
No matter what season it is in our life, when we feel that we've been forgotten or that we're behind on the path to our destiny, what we have to remember is God has ordained a plan when we were in our mother's womb, when we were in his mind. And for you and I, for those who would think, Dee would say, this is someone new to me, not
at all.
This is someone that was planted in my life as a seed. And I would like to tell you that I watered that seed. But what I did is I acknowledged the seed and I tossed the little sprinkles here and there. But Lady Wisdom was watering that seed because she's a woman of prayer. And I had a vision, I had ideas, and I had needs for knowledge. And over the seasons that we had an opportunity to readily be in each other's lives, it was a very fruitful time.
Yes.
But there came a time where, because I wasn't watering a particular part of my garden, I'm over here trying to figure out why the harvest isn't as big as I wanted. And it was when I came back and tended all that God had given me, that he brought you back into the forefront of my life.
Wow.
Endowed with wisdom,
wow,
ready to share.
Wow.
And I was able to recognize the value of watering all of my gardens. So thank you for being here blooming in the garden. And for those who love this location, Lady Wisdom, I love what God is doing in your life.
Thank you.
I know there are things coming up. Now, for those who might be saying already, you want to know who Lady Wisdom is, as she said, you know, this is a pastor, a wife, a mother. And I know we like to say also we're puppy mothers. We love our puppies.
Yes, we are.
But people can find you on Facebook.
Yes, they can find me on Facebook under Lady Wisdom26.
Lady Wisdom26, and I thought you were only 22.
You are wonderful. I am loving you. But yes, I've always had a passion for finances. I've always wanted to know, what is it that some people are obviously doing that we are not doing? And when I say we, I'm saying as a culture, what is it that why is it that there's some people who are making the same income, probably live across the street from you, and they're able to go on vacations, they're able to do certain things. They retire, and they retire well.
Yes, well, and they ain't faking.
I'm serious.
Ain't faking.
They're not.
Not proper English. They ain't faking.
Yeah, they're not faking. They're not living on rice and beans and have the big house.
Yes.
They actually did something, and there's that one missing ingredient, which is the planning and being intentional about it.
Intentional. You know, I want to share. There's something someone told me. They said, your branding, your life is intentional.
Yes.
It is either an intentional effort for success or an intentional effort to do nothing and be a failure. And I said, well, what about people who are doing something and they're still not a success? They said it was intentional.
Wow.
Because if you have a vision, but you won't write it down, then you're not willing to do what the Word of God said. Write the vision, make it plain. And I tell people it's not so someone else will read it. It's so you can read it and remind yourself.
And follow it.
So you said it was a passion. Was there a particular moment that it became a passion, or was it always just somehow?
The passion further intensified in 2005 when tragedy hit my household.
Hold it. So you're going to acknowledge that even though we are women who are walking in power, we are walking in wisdom, knowledge, and we have good godly men covering us. Tragedy could still hit your household.
Yes, ma'am.
Old folks say, hush your mouth, child. So if you've been wondering why your life looks like it turned upside down, it's because you have a life. You are alive. But if you're still alive to hear us today, we can tell you God's going to make a way. And one of the ways of coming out of financial debt, of being prepared for life now and later, planning for a legacy and inheritance, is listening to Lady Wisdom.
Awesome. Like I said, one of the wisdom nuggets that I can throw out there, like I said, tragedy hit my household in 2005. My father passed.
Oh, your father passed. Now, I would like to say condolences, but I want to tell people about something with finances here too. What has happened in the past is in the past. It is nothing wrong with expressing condolences, but what you want to say is, how can I help you now? So Lady Wisdom, he passed in 2005, it hit your household. So what was it you needed someone to help you with then that told you, this is a problem?
Again, we always make the statement of, I wish somebody would have told me. That's not good enough.
That's not good enough.
Okay? Because no one's going to snatch you off the street and give you the knowledge that you need. I'm sorry. That's
if
not
they
how it
do,
works.
they may go down.
Well,
in certain cultures.
That is true. That is true. But what happened to us is at that particular time, we were in debt up to our eyeballs. Number one. Number two, we weren't ready for any emergencies. There was no emergency fund at all. So guess what? I am not from here. I'm a true immigrant. I was born and raised in Panama.
Oh, so no offense, sister. No, you're not from here. You're not from here. No.
So here we have to fly home to take care, not knowing that there weren't certain things in place.
Wow.
That there was no planning done. So that ignited something within me because of the process and procedures that we had to go through that I had no clue about. And that I'm sure that the audience today.
So let me make sure. So look right here in the camera and tell me if we got it right. 2005? No planning.
No planning.
Did you see that? No planning.
No planning. Debt up to our eyeballs.
Not just you and the head of the household.
Yes.
But we were living.
We were living.
But
everything looked good from the outside.
And now you're flying to Panama. And you know, there was a saying about not having a pot to take care of. I'm gonna leave it like that. Some of y'all know what saying I'm going.
Exactly.
But you're gonna fly to Panama.
We have to.
I heard the 4-letter curse word too. Debt. So okay, we're starting to understand where the passion started. 2005. Father passes. You're not from here. You're a true immigrant. You and your husband are in debt, and you're flying to Panama.
We're flying.
But there was no planning done in Panama.
No planning done in Panama. So we get to Panama. There's no will. There's no life insurance. There's nothing.
And am I, being, I don't know, assuming wrong? Since you appear to be a person of color, not many cultures of person of color do the cremation thing.
No, but we did.
And she is still sitting here. Lightning did not strike her. But I say that because so often people are reluctant to do that to avoid even increasing debt. So that ignited this passion. You get there, there's no will, there was no planning, there's no life insurance.
None.
So you're going to have to cremate. But for those who don't know, cremation is not $100 tip. No. It's more than that. So who had to take care of all these affairs? Lift up holy hands?
Yeah, right here.
Okay.
That's how we took care of it. Within the family members, some said, okay, I can do this, I can do that, or I can do this. But the thing is, why do we have to wait for that? That's where the passion grew. And then there's another procedure. There's another process.
Okay.
If they don't live a will, you need to start a process called probate.
That's a big curse word.
Okay.
Look that one up. Probate. Yes. I know about it. Probate.
You have to start that process. And if you don't know that you need to start it, guess what? I would have gotten on the plane Came back home, I would have never known. And there were other people involved. I'll just leave it at that.
So we all know that sometimes our financial woes aren't just our own. We didn't bring it on ourselves. Someone else helped it. But you know, you cast your cares on the Lord who cares for you. But I will tell you, for as long as you're down here on the earth, when you cast those cares, you have to then make sure when you cast, you gain wisdom. Because otherwise you're going to have a revolving door and a revolving cycle. So 2005, father passes, no will, no life insurance. We're going to cremate you. We love you, Dad, but we've got to cremate you. We're going to probate. But you said there were other people involved. And am I to take it there was no agreement?
No.
Okay.
None
and still love you.
And still love you, but there was no agreement. Okay. So here we have to start this process, and guess what? You have to get an attorney for that.
Oh, but you had money to pay for an attorney, didn't you?
Cha-ching, no.
Oh, okay.
Not only do you have to get an attorney, you're going to pay some fees. Excuse me.
See what happens? It chokes you to know what you have to deal with when you are wanting to grieve your loved one.
And you can't do it right.
I'm trying to hold my peace, but go ahead. I might get
you
warm up in here.
I
might get warm up in
here.
Just
you can't even
because you're trying to be the good, loving family member that we know we all are. We all are. Yes, we are. But at the same time, you get choked up with emotions that aren't always positive when you're facing this.
Because you're facing this. There's no will, there's no order, there's no structure, there's nobody there to walk you through the process, hold your hand and walk you through the process. But God is there walking you through the process. Because I'll tell you, the scripture came in my spirit the whole time that we're going through the
Look at the camera, tell everyone that scripture.
I'll never see the righteous forsaken nor his seed begging bread.
Oh, thank you, God. I remember my garden with that seed. Hallelujah.
I am so serious. Nor his seed begging bread. Now, mind you, nobody else knows that we are in financial debt.
Oh, we're living on the high is how it's perceived on the outside.
Exactly.
And it's not that we're trying to tell a lie.
No.
But it's because you won't even hear the truth when I'm trying to tell you, sis, I don't have it like that.
Exactly. So these things transpired. That procedures, that probate process started. And all I saw and all I heard were phone calls of, we need more money. We need more money to keep this process going. We need more money. So after I left, came back home, and this process is still going on. And to keep the story short, the process took 4 years.
I'm just going to be raw. Was it worth it?
Well, in a way, at the end, if you look at it, somewhat.
Somewhat.
But when I say that is probably the intended purpose of my father may have been, I want to leave this to my children. I've worked so hard, because this is one thing that we do. We work so hard accumulating, but we forget that area of protecting what we have accumulated, or pass it on to our children the best way that we can.
The best way. The best way. She's going to tell you more about this. And guys, don't worry. There's a lot to this. So Dee's not going to shortchange you one bit. You make sure you stay locked in. You stay hooked into us on this. Because we're also going to be giving you some resources on how you can connect with Lady Wisdom.
Yes.
Some of you need to have a one-on-one evaluation of yourself with yourself. But then you're going to need this wisdom. And I'm sorry to cut you off, but I want to really make sure people know. We're not thinking that hearing this story is going to equip you.
No.
What we're wanting you to know is you're not alone.
You're not alone.
And Lady Wisdom's here to share not only personal experience, but professional training, professional guidance, spiritual wisdom, and the total package to help you get on this path to financial freedom, security, and having the life God intended you to have.
And I like how you said it, because my goal is not to fix an individual. My goal is to educate and equip you so you have the necessary information in order to go out there and get what you need. This cannot be a home project that you put it off, and if it doesn't get done, it's okay. We're talking about your life. We're talking about a will. We're talking about a trust. We're talking about an advance directive. We are talking about some serious documents that you need to have. And I can tell you this, a will is not enough. I know a lot of people, a lot of attorneys will tell you, okay, as long as you have a will and an advance directive, that's enough. They are not looking out for your best interests. I'm sorry. They are not looking out for your best interests. because it may appear that it's inexpensive to just take care of those two documents. But it's inexpensive at the front end, but it's going to be really expensive at the back end.
And you know, the back end don't look too good. That's all I'm going to say on that.
Yeah.
So wouldn't you rather see the pretty front and not have to look at the back? And if I can get you to actually, oh my goodness, I feel like I need to just pause. Right? So Lady Wisdom, if I may ask, if a will's not enough, what are, just at high level, what are the other things that would be needed?
A trust, a revocable living trust. And I'll say this, I'll add this to this. Quit thinking that a trust is only for rich people.
You know, that's exactly what I was about to say.
Well, I could feel it, I could sense it. I've had several conversations with people who think it's only for rich folks.
You know, I had to just, Dee's real. I had to just let that energy go and be out there because you're a lady of wisdom. You would have discerned it anyway like you did. So I tell you what, so guys, get your pencil, get your pad. Let's back this thing up, Lady Wisdom. Okay, I'm living. What would you tell the average 35-year-old, married or single? I need life insurance? Yes? No?
Yes.
But I'm young.
You are young. But what if, number one, if you had debt, how's that going to get paid?
Well, I ain't worried about that when I die. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about that. I mean, you know, hey, let the family figure that out.
Well, that would go against your estate.
Oh. But they'll still get something because, you know, long as they blood, I know, my grandma told me that. They're going to get whatever, you know, they blood.
But please understand, they're going to get something. But would you like to leave between 10 and 12% on the table for other people to get?
Well, you know, I don't want them folks to get it, is how it's said. So are you trying to say that if I don't take care of those things?
If you don't take care of those things, let me put it to you this way. If someone, let's say hypothetically, you're living, you're 35 years old.
I'm 35 years old.
You have a home.
I have a home.
Your home is valued at $200,000.
Yes.
Okay. You have a car that can't go in the trust. Okay. But you have a retirement account.
Yes.
401k plan that you have been contributing to.
Oh, yes, because I was planning.
Yeah. You've been working for 20 years.
Yes.
Excuse me. No, less, a little bit less. But you've been contributing. You were smart.
Yes.
You at some point you saw Lady Wisdom26 somewhere.
Oh, I got that anointing. It just fell on me.
Yes.
It did.
So you have been saving some money. So you've accumulated something. Okay. So now, if you die without a will, guess what? That goes into what's called an intestate succession. That's when the state determines who's going to get what. And that's a process as well. And it's expensive and it takes time.
You know, you're putting age wrinkles on my face, girl. Speak up. Say that word again.
Intestate succession.
Did you notice the word state was in there? That doesn't sound like me, myself, and I. That doesn't sound like mama, daddy, husband, brother, child. That sounds like someone else.
Well, there's a level there. It's like having a will, but you don't have one, so the state is going to determine who's going to get it. You know, and legally in the books, there's an order. If you're married, your husband's going to get it.
But I've got to go to court to get it since I didn't have a will from the husband,
that is
correct?
Absolutely right.
Because I've heard so many people, and I know I've learned from you, people don't understand that just because you're married to that man or that woman and they pass after 50 years of marriage, it doesn't automatically say that attorneys are at your beck and call, that the state and the courts are just going to give you free services on their part to make sure you get what you are honestly entitled to. I can tell you guys, if you were here on location with us, we've got some guests who wanted to stop by because they wanted to gain wisdom and sell it not. They're nodding and they're acknowledging. That is not how it works. It doesn't matter what state you're watching us from right now.
That is correct.
Lady Wisdom and DeeMcNair are telling you, you need to know not only the basics, but you also, I'm going to add, know the laws of your own state.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
Life insurance, a will, a trust, which isn't for rich people.
A revocable living trust.
I can't even say that word.
Because it takes care of you when you're alive and when you die.
We're going to be having an off-air conversation. That is for sure. That is for sure. So I need to have the trust. Then let's see. So what was it? Will, trust. Now, what about, I've heard some people say this thing about the living will and also having a healthcare power of attorney type thing.
Yes, a healthcare
And that's
attorney.
different than a power of attorney in general.
The power of attorney dies when you die.
Okay.
Okay, but an advance directive and a power of attorney for healthcare helps you when you die. Yes, an advance directive tells the doctors, okay, resuscitate me with all you got.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Give it to me because I've got work to do for my
Or don't use anything and let me go.
Okay. Because I don't want to suffer.
Exactly.
And I know that I have peace that maybe this is my time to go.
I want you guys to look up Shivo, the Shivo case. I don't know if you remember.
I do remember that case.
The young lady, she couldn't speak. She was a vegetable. Her parents wanted her to stay alive, but her husband was saying she won't want to suffer this way.
Right. And he said that they'd had several conversations about it.
But there wasn't
the
anything in
parents
writing.
felt differently. And let me be clear, people's feelings change, mind change. Recently, I had the wonderful opportunity of watching a just awesome woman of God as she proved that she would be the living testimony of loving, serving, and being obedient to her God. But as I watched her through this journey, one thing came to me where I'd always said I didn't want this. I suddenly realized, you know what I do today? What you say when you're 25 doesn't matter when you're 55.
Amen.
So would I be correct in the wisdom you share with me? This isn't a one-time thing. It isn't that you always got to pay money again and again, but you update these things.
You update it. And the Revocable Living Trust, you still hold control of all of your assets. It helps you when you die because you've already appointed a person of your choosing.
Yes.
To execute the things and the terms and conditions that you place in that revocable living trust.
Well, I know I don't want orange lipstick on if I happen to go before my husband, so I might need to put that in the trust.
I don't blame you.
I mean, you know, orange is my favorite color.
Give him some instructions so he knows what to do.
Amen.
And that's the reason why I call this class Owning the Power to Control Your Own Destiny.
Tell him the name of the class again.
Owning the Power to Control Your Own Destiny.
That's Lady Wisdom.
Yes.
Telling you. Now, estate was another word, and you all probably see that behind us on the screen. Estate.
Estate plan.
People think that's for what they perceive as rich. Who's that for?
If you have a home that's valued, let's say hypothetically it's valued right now $200,000 and you're living in 10, 20 years, next thing you turn around, it's valued at $250,000.
Yeah.
That's an asset.
Well, you know, some
That's
people,
an asset.
but they say, well, you know, that's all I got.
You know what? There are a lot of people who think that's all that I got. But then again, now, if you have children, children underage, have you ever thought who's going to take care of them if you're no longer living?
Now, I'm going to ask you to speak up a little bit on this topic. Lady Wisdom, could you look at the camera again? And this is something, I want to lean back. I want you all to focus on Lady Wisdom. Children. I have had this conversation so often with people. Minor children cannot inherit and own. I take that back. They might can own that red fire engine truck that you used to have. But would you explain to people what they should do if you have children, particularly minor children?
If you have minor children, number one, determine the person who will be taking care of them in the case of your absence and their father's absence. A person that you can trust, a person that you can trust with the care of your child, and a person that you can trust with the management of the funds that you're going to leave to take care of that child. Now, in addition to that revocable living trust, you can spell it out exactly how you want those resources to go, when, and at what age. You keep the control, even when you're not here. But the thing is, we have to do it. We have to take responsibility, make that decision, and do it now. We plan trips, and some trips that we plan and go to different places and explore things cost in upwards of $2,500.
Yes.
So why is it that we can't set the money aside to do these kind of things?
Well, I don't mean any harm there. No disrespect, Lady Wisdom. But you do know a life insurance policy, it does not tickle my toes like saying.
I understand. I fully understand.
And can you not observe that my tan that I got during my time in St. Thomas did not come by way of a trust, a will, none of that.
You know what? Ecclesiastes 5 says.
Oh, I'm feeling the conviction hitting right now.
That We make the money and we want more money. We make the money and we worry about the money. How about not worry about the money and have a living trust, a revocable living trust? How about not worry about the money and have a will?
God is doing a new thing in me, in you, but He's doing a new thing in your life. So remember what Dee says as I go on the air and off the air. Yeah, that's right. It is not about you and it is not about me. It is all about the we.
Hi, my name is Lady Wisdom26. Natalia Fisher Jackson. I go by the handle Lady Wisdom26 on Facebook. But I want to invite you, I want to encourage you to seek out the information that you need to plan your own future. I have this class, Owning the Power to Control Your Own Destiny, that helps you, walks you through the process of estate planning. It tells you the documentation that you must have. We're talking about a will. We're talking about a revocable living trust. We're talking about an advance directive and a power of attorney for health care. And I want to say this to you, don't count yourself out. Please do not think that this is only for the rich. You can have trust babies too, okay? So please don't miss this class. Don't miss the interview that I've just had with DeeMcNairOnTheAir. It has been fabulous. I think you need this information. I was once told, if you learn, teach. And if you give. I'm willing to give and I'm willing to teach. I just need you there.